Stop everything. Because if you're on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, this February 17th could be a game changer for your bank account. Millions of Americans are about to see up to $2,000 hit their accounts. But there's a catch. Not everyone knows exactly who qualifies, how the money will arrive, or how to make sure you don't miss a single dollar. This isn't a rumor, and it's not some maybe payment. It's a real government-issued update that could immediately impact your finances. If you've been living paycheck to paycheck, counting on that next deposit, or worried about bills stacking up, this is the moment to pay attention. We're breaking down exactly who is eligible, how the Social Security Administration is distributing these funds, and what you need to do right now to make sure you get your $2,000 stimulus check without any delays. From timing and direct deposit tips to understanding the differences between Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipients, I'm giving you the inside scoop that most Americans are completely missing. Imagine waking up on February 17th and seeing that extra money in your account. Money that could cover groceries, rent, medical bills, or even a long overdue treat for yourself. But here's the thing. If you don't act now, you could risk missing your payment or delaying it unnecessarily. So don't wait another second. Hit that like button right now to stay informed, stay ahead, and make sure every senior, retiree, and SSI or SSDI recipient in America knows exactly what's coming on February 17. When you wake up on the morning of February 17th, your bank balance might look very different from what you expected. For millions of Americans receiving Social Security, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, or Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, this date represents more than just another payment day. It could be the moment a $2,000 stimulus check lands in your account. You might have seen snippets online or heard rumors from friends and neighbors, but the real story behind this distribution is far more detailed and far more important than anything you've read in a headline. What's happening right now is rooted in federal timing rules, legislative updates, and administrative policy that tie together income thresholds, payment schedules, and eligibility frameworks in a way that hasn't been widely explained yet. If you're curious about whether you qualify, how the check arrives, and what you need to do to make sure you're counted, this entire video was made for you. Let's walk through this in a way that's clear, honest, and directly tied to what you can expect. The Social Security Administration has updated its payment calendar for 2026 in response to a combination of federal guidelines and program enhancements designed to support older Americans. February 17th is significant because it falls on a weekday, which means direct deposits and stimulus payments will be processed through banks at the start of business on that very morning. The IRS coordinates with the SSA to ensure that eligible recipients receive funds through direct deposit, direct express cards, or traditional paper checks, depending on their individual enrollment preferences. But here's the first thing you must understand. Not everyone receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI will automatically see a $2,000 deposit. Eligibility is not random, and the amount you receive depends on a few key variables: your income, filing status, last year's reported earnings, and whether you are considered a primary beneficiary or a dependent recipient. Even more important is how your information is filed with the SSA. If your direct deposit details are current and verified, the funds will hit your account smoothly. If not, you might experience delays that could push your payment back by days or even weeks. Imagine the difference that payment could make. You open your bank app, and there it is. A deposit you weren't expecting that suddenly gives you room to breathe. Maybe you've been worried about covering your rent. Maybe you've had medical bills stacking up. Or maybe you simply want breathing room for everyday expenses like groceries and prescriptions. Money like this isn't small change. It's meaningful, and it can make a real difference in your financial stability. But to leverage it the way it was intended, you have to know exactly how and why it's being issued. This isn't a simple generic payment. The February 17th legislation stems from updated tax relief measures and federal support initiatives aimed at older adults and individuals with disabilities. In recent years, the government has expanded benefits to account for rising costs of living, inflationary pressures, and healthcare expenses that disproportionately affect retirees and SSI SSDI recipients. The result is a one-time payment possibility, built into the payment schedule for 2026 that for many recipients can total up to $2,000 on or around February 17. This figure is not arbitrary. It represents a structured calculation that takes into account eligibility tiers, cost of living adjustments, and supplemental allocations for those who qualify under multiple categories. To truly grasp what this means, you have to appreciate how these programs operate. Social Security retirement benefits are calculated based on your earnings history and the age at which you choose to begin collecting benefits. SSI is a needs-based program for individuals with limited income and resources, regardless of their work history, and SSDI is for those who have earned sufficient work credits but who are now unable to work due to disability. Each of these programs operates on its own schedule and framework, yet they all interact with federal payments in a way that makes February 17 uniquely consequential. The IRS has coordinated with the SSA to respect the normal Social Security payment calendar, but they've also synchronized an additional distribution pattern for eligible seniors and recipients under the age of 65 with disabilities. What that means in practical terms is this. On February 17th, you could see your regular scheduled payment deposited, followed by an additional stimulus payment, amounting to a combined total that approaches or reaches $2,000 for those who qualify. Many recipients will receive these as a single combined deposit, while others may see separate line items in their bank statements that reflect each component. What you do next matters. Seeing the deposit and mistaking it for an extra windfall could lead to uninformed spending and future shortfalls. Instead, approaching this with a plan ensures that you are maximizing the benefit rather than unintentionally depleting it. Think of this as a moment to strengthen your financial footing rather than temporary found money. Your best strategy is to check your account early, understand the breakdown of the deposit, and allocate according to your highest priorities. Essentials first, obligations next, and only then discretionary spending. Now let's talk specifics. If you are already set up with direct deposit for your Social Security or SSI SSDI payments, you're in a great position. Your bank will typically post the funds early in the morning on the official payment date, sometimes even the evening before, depending on your financial institution's internal processing. Major national banks often clear government deposits faster, sometimes within minutes of the payment release, while smaller banks or credit unions may take several hours. If you rely on mailed checks instead, those will arrive later, and the time frame can vary depending on where you live and your postal service schedule. That's why having direct deposit is not just convenient. It's critical to receiving your funds in a timely manner. For those with direct express cards or those who use prepaid government payment cards, your stimulus funds should be accessible as soon as they are posted. Keep an eye on your account notifications, because some systems will alert you the moment a deposit clears. This level of awareness allows you to plan confidently, especially if you have bills that are due in the coming days. Even if you haven't been actively checking your payment schedule, you can verify what's coming by logging into your secure SSA account online. If you don't have one set up yet, now is the time. The SSA portal will show your expected payment amounts and dates, and it will clearly indicate any upcoming payments associated with special distributions like the February 17th stimulus. Knowing what's scheduled and when it's scheduled gives you the upper hand and eliminates guesswork. We also have to address the timing of this distribution. February 17th is deliberately placed early in the month. The government often chooses dates toward the beginning of a month for supplemental payments to align with standard billing cycles, rent due dates, and monthly budgeting rhythms. This means you have the opportunity not just to receive your funds, but to use them strategically. Whether it's catching up on overdue balances, stocking up on essentials, or setting aside a reserve for anticipated expenses, your allocation plan can be far more effective when you understand the context of the payment. One concern that many recipients have expressed is the fear of missing the deadline or losing eligibility because they did not receive a notice. Let's clear that up right now. You are not disqualified automatically if you did not receive a physical notice in the mail. In many cases, payment notifications go directly through electronic channels or are viewable in your SSA account online. A mailed letter is often slower than digital communication, and does not always reflect the timeliest information. If you have direct deposit active and you are enrolled in the appropriate SSA programs, you are already in the queue for payment. That said, scammers often prey on confusion around these distributions. There will undoubtedly be emails, calls, and texts claiming to be from the IRS or SSA, asking you to verify your payment information or confirm your eligibility to receive the $2,000. Do not fall for these. The government will never ask you to share your social security number, bank account details, or PIN via unsolicited communication. If you receive a suspicious message, verify it through your official SSA portal or call the SSA directly using the number on the official website. Staying informed and cautious protects you from identity theft and prevents you from inadvertently giving out personal information that could be exploited. As we approach February 17th, many recipients may feel a mix of excitement and uncertainty. That's normal. When large payments are announced, the initial reaction is curiosity followed by concern about logistics, timing, and eligibility. You may find yourself refreshing your bank app multiple times leading up to that morning, wondering if the deposit will show up earlier or later than expected. This is why preparation is your ally. Knowing when to expect the deposit, understanding how it will be labeled in your account, and having a plan for how to use it responsibly can turn apprehension into confidence. For some Americans, this stimulus payment could cover medical expenses that have been delayed due to cost concerns. Prescription drugs, doctor visits, home care services, many medical needs go unmet when finances are tight. A payment like this has the potential to alleviate those burdens and provide peace of mind that allows you to focus on your health rather than the ledger. Others may view this as a chance to bolster their emergency savings or establish a cushion for months ahead. An unexpected deposit can easily be spent quickly, but the smarter approach is to treat it as part of a broader financial strategy. By dividing the amount between essential expenses and savings, you give yourself flexibility and resilience for future needs. For example, setting aside a portion in a separate savings account or even a money market account can protect you from unexpected costs without sacrificing accessibility. The key takeaway here is empowerment. Knowing what's coming and when it's coming allows you to navigate the payment intelligently and confidently. You're not just waiting for money, you're planning for stability. February 17th, 2026 could be transformative if you approach it with awareness rather than assumption. Now, let's talk about a few scenarios so you can see how this might play out in real life. Some people will see the entire $2,000 as one single combined deposit. In their bank statement, it will show a single line item with the total amount. Others may see two separate entries, one representing their regular Social Security, SSI or SSDI benefit, and a second representing the supplemental stimulus amount that brings the total closer to $2,000. Understanding how these are labeled helps you track what portion of the payment is your routine benefit and what portion represents the supplemental amount tied to the special February 17th distribution. If you are a couple filing jointly or a household with multiple eligible recipients, these payments could show up independently for each person based on their individual eligibility. This could result in staggered deposits or multiple entries in your joint account, which may seem confusing at first glance. Again, checking your SSA account online will clarify which payments are scheduled and why. As February 17th draws near, it's natural to be eager, anxious, or even skeptical. Large government distributions don't happen every day, and when they do, there's often misinformation that circulates quickly. That's why watching this video and staying informed through trustworthy sources matters. We want you to receive every dollar that you're entitled to without confusion or delay. So in the final days leading up to your payment, check your direct deposit settings, log into your SSA account, verify your personal information, and make sure everything is up to date. If you have recently moved, changed banks, or updated your contact info, now is the time to confirm that the SSA has the correct details. Preventing a delay now saves you from having to navigate unnecessary headaches later. This February 17th moment can be more than a date. It can be a turning point for your financial year. With the potential for up to $2,000 hitting your account, you have an opportunity to take control, breathe easier, and make choices that improve your financial standing for weeks and months ahead. But only if you are prepared, informed, and proactive. Stay alert, stay confident, and keep checking your official accounts. The payment is real, the date is set, and your eligibility is waiting to be honored. Every dollar counts, every plan matters, and every informed decision can set you up for success. We're just getting started explaining what this means for you. Stick with this series as we break down every layer of this stimulus update so you never miss a beat. February 17 is coming. Are you ready?